In the last week, of course, last few weeks, we have been discussing from this new section, starting from chapter 21 onwards, where Vidura requested Maitreya to speak about the Tattva Samhita spoken by Lord Kapila. So, in order to speak about Tattva Samhita spoken by Lord Kapila, we need to understand why, when, where Lord Kapila spoke this, and then who is Lord Kapila? Lord Kapila is the son of Devahuti and Kardama. And then when and where and how Devahuti and Kardama married. In order to all these questions, Maitreya Rishi is talking about who is Kardama and how Kardama got married to Devahuti, and all is explained in this chapter. So Kardama, being ordered by his father Lord Brahma, in order to get married and beget children, to populate the entire universe with different variety of living entities, he performed tapasya for 10,000 years to please Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appeared and blessed him that 2 days later Swayambhu Manu will come with his wife Satarupa and with his daughter Devahuti in order to give his daughter in marriage to you. She is equal to you in all respects. So Lord disappeared and Kardama was awaiting for the arrival of Devahuti and Devahuti, not Devahuti, Swayambhu Manu and Satarupa. And 2 days later they came. So on the way, while coming to the ashram of Kardama Muni, Swayambhu Manu was witnessing the wealth of the great sages. All the natural scenic setting places on the bank of Saraswati river. And there was a Bindu Sarovar and wonderful plants, forest trees, birds, bumblebees, and this, that. So many things are there. Natural beauty and natural wealth. And then Swayambhu Manu came inside the ashram. He saw Kardama Muni sat in his Yoga Mudra position, meditating upon the Supreme Lord, and he appeared like a jewel covered with mud, very brightly shining, stout, strong, and then healthy and youthful. So many things are there. And then he came, and understanding that somebody came into his ashram, he opened, Kardama Muni opened his eyes. Seeing that Kardama Muni noticed their arrival, Swayambhu Manu immediately fell flat, offering Dandavat. And Kardama got up and lifted up Vaibhav Manu, and then the king said, "My dear sage, today I have become successful because I met in person the form of powerful austerity." So the king said that, "My dear great sage, today my life has become successful because I met a personified form of tapasya." Then Kardama replied saying that, "O king, today I am seeing the empowerment of the Supreme Lord, the Palana Shakti of the Supreme Lord in your form. You are representing the Palana Shakti, the maintenance potency of the Supreme Lord." So like that, Kardama welcomed Swayambhu Manu. And then we kind of ended our discussion here in the last week. So then Swayambhu Manu, being a king, he brought all the paraphernalia along with him, and he made the sage sit on the vasan, and you washed his feet with water, argya, and then flowers, and then put the charnamut on their head, and then worshipped him and removed all the paraphernalia. When the sage sit with ease and with the sage's permission, Swayambhu Manu also, along with his wife, also sat in front of the sage somewhere nearby. Then, understanding the purpose with which they came, because anyway Swayambhu Manu knew, Lord told him that 2 days later the Swayambhu Manu will come along with his wife. So why they came, but still as a matter of courtesy, he is going to inquire the reason of their arrival in the next few verses. So today we'll continue from text number 50 onwards. So one of you can unmute and repeat after me. Noonam chankramanam deva
नूनं चक्रम् अन्नं देव
सतां संरक्षणाय ते
सतां संरक्षणाय ते
वदाय च सतां यस्त्वं
वदाय च सतं यस्त्वं
हरे शक्तिर्हि पालिनी.
हरे शक्तिर्हि पालिनी. Translation: the tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the Vetos and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari.
Yeah, here it is said that Kardama is saying, O Lord, O King, you who travel about on the surface of the earth to protect the righteous and to destroy the sinful are the energy of protection of the Lord. You are representing the Palana Shakti. Lord's Palana Shakti means Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya Dushkutam, and you are doing the same thing. You who travel about for protecting the righteous are the energy of protection of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Vishnu is responsible for maintenance of the entire universe. So on his behalf, Indra, with the assistance of all the devatas, protecting the entire universe from the Swargaloka, and the king, with the help of all the other ministers and soldiers, will be protecting on the Bhuloka. Will be protecting all the citizens in the Bhuloka. So they both of them represent Lord's Palana Shakti. So in this way, the sage glorifying the king. Then he says that you represent all the Lokapalas, all the principal devatas, just like they are protecting from the top. They are all direct representative of Supreme Lord. And you are the king of the Bhuloka, you are their representative. So a king will have all the kings, the potencies of all the devatas within him. That is being indicated in the next verse. Who are all the devatas are there within him. यो अर्केन्दु अग्निद्रवयूनाम् यो अर्केन्द्वग्निद्रवायूनाम्
योर्क्वेन्दु अग्निन्द्रवायूनाम्
यमधर्मा प्रचेतसाम्
यमा धर्मा प्रचेतसाम्
रूपाणि शातान आदस्ते
रूपाणि स्थानादत्से
तस्मै शुक्लाय ते नमः.
तस्मै शुक्लाय ते नमः. Translation: you assume when necessary the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god of presiding over the waters, all obeisances to you, who are none other than Lord Vishnu.
I offer respects to you, a pure being, who suitably take the form of the sun, moon, fire, Indra, Vayu, Yama, Dharma, and Varuna. These are some of the principal devatas who are maintaining the entire universe, and the king represents all of them. You completely accept the forms of the sun and others in a suitable way. How? You are the sun because of your majesty. Sun is majestic. You are the moon because of your fame. We always glorify beauty with respect to moon's beauty. You are fire because of your invincibility. No one can stand in front of the fire. You are Indra because of your lordship. So Indra is the lordship over entire universe. You are Vayu because you enter everywhere. Vayu can go anywhere. Same way, my dear king, you can also go anywhere. No one can check you. You are Yama because you punish the sinful. Very clear. You are Dharma because you protect the righteous. Yeah, king protects Paritranaya Sadhuna, protect the righteous. You are Varuna because you are deep and have hidden treasure. King also should have the hidden treasure. In case of emergency, the king able to support whatever the people citizens need. So he had hidden treasure like just like Varuna. he stays inside the ocean. So in that way, a king represents the 8 Lokapalas of the universe. These 8 people can be considered as the 8 Lokapalas of the universe. Indra will be in the eastern side, Yama will be in the southern side, Vayu will be in the Vayuvya side, and then it's like that. All these different people are there in different directions. Therefore, I offer respects to you, the Lord in another form, who have come to my cottage. So, he represents the Supreme Lord's Parana Shakti, and he also endowed with the potencies of all these 8 important devatas, 8 Lokapalas, who are Lord's expansions. So, in that way, he is respecting the king. Then he kind of thinking, "Oh king, why have you come?" He wanted to ask that. Then he thought that, but why should I ask that question? Since I already know the answer, I know why king came. Then why should I ask that? To state this, he makes a negative statement. If you did not travel the earth, then the rules would be broken. 3 verses will be speaking about that. Other duties of a king, they mentions and glorifies the king accordingly. Na yada rathamaastaya
न यदा रथमास्थाय
चैत्रं मणि गणार्पितं
जैत्रं मणिगणार्पितं
विस्फुर्ज चंद कोदंडो
विस्फूर्य चण्डकोदण्डो
रतेन त्रासयन्नगान्
रथेन त्रासयन् घान्
स्वसैन्यचरणक्षुण्णं
स्वसैन्यचरणक्षुण्णं
वेपयन्मण्डलम्बुवः
वेपयन्मण्डलं भुवः
विकर्षन् भृतिं सेनां
विकर्षन् बृहतीं सेनां
पर्यटसि अंशुमानिव
पर्यटस्यंशुमानिव
तदैव श्वेत सर्वे सदैव श्वेतवाः सर्वे
तदैव सेतवः सर्वे
वर्णाश्रमनिबन्धना
वर्णाश्रमनिबन्धना
भगवद्रचिता राजन्
भगवत रचिता राजन्
विद्येरन् बतदस्युभिः.
Vidyeran Batadasyubhe. Translation: If you did not mount your victorious jeweled chariot, whose mere presence threatens culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twanging of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet cause the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the varnas and ashramas created by the Lord Himself would be broken by the rogues and rascals. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he is saying that, O king, if you, with bow of fearful vibration, did not tour the earth like the sun after mounting your victorious jewel-studded chariot, instilling fear in the sinful just by its presence, and shaking the earth with the footprints of your huge army, the society established according to the Varna and Ashrama made by the Lord would be destroyed by the evil. The first and foremost duty of the king is make sure that the Varnashtama system is being protected properly. Because with the help of this Varnashtama system, the living entities can practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, and eventually go back home back to Godhead. The first and foremost duty of the king is to make sure that he provides suitable environment for the people to practice one of these important sadhanas. For that, whoever is opposing elements, the king would continuously punish them, put them under check. For that, the king should be continuously either himself traveling all over or send his army or send some Guptachar to understand what's happening all around. When there is a need, king should go personally and do the need. So these are the duties of the king. So in that way, he's telling that you are doing it perfectly. As a result of that, the dharma is maintained very nicely all over the universe, and especially all over the Bhulu. So in that way, he is glorifying Swayambhu. That is what is indicated in these three verses. The chariot was studded with jewels and gave victory. Just by presence of chariot, the evil become fearful. Just by looking at your chariot, the evil will are afraid and go away. They don't do any evil activities. That matlab, is a great devotee and powerful person, and just by looking at his chariot, only people are afraid and not do anything. Then what to speak of standing in front of him? That is the kind of personality Swayambhu Manu is. Then he further says, Adharmascha samedeta
Adharmascha samedheta
lolupair venkushair nubhi
loluper venkuser nrivi
shayane tvai lokoyam
sayane toi lokoyam
tasyugrasto vinangshati.
tasyugrasto vinaksyati. Translation. If you gave up all thoughts of the world's situation, unrighteousness would flourish. For men who hanker only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack and the world would perish.
O king, if you sleep without worry, a religion will increase through uncontrolled people craving for material pleasure. Tormented by the sinful, the population will be destroyed. If the king stays home only, busy with his own sense gratification, the kingdom will be destroyed very soon. The people are after trying to loot others and get money in an easy way, etc. etc. If king is not sufficiently vigilant, the kingdom will go blizzard. So, my dear king, since you are always vigilant, always roaming all around in all directions, always very much alert. So, no sinful, criminal-minded people are active to do any activity. They are always afraid of you, afraid of your punishment. Thus, you are maintaining dharma properly. In that way, he glorified the king for what he is doing, and finally says, "I would like to know for what you have come." Anyway, he knew, but as a matter of courtesy, he asked, "What is the purpose of you coming here?" So don't worry, we are always eager to serve you, like that he says. अथापि पृच्छे त्वां वीरा
अथापि पृच्छे त्वां वीरा
यदर्थं त्वं विहागता
यदर्थं त्वम् इहागता
तद्वयं निर्व्यलीकेन
तद्वयं निर्वलीकेन
प्रतिपद्यामहे हृदा.
प्रतिपद्यामहे हृदा. Translation. In spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose of which you have come here. Whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation. Hare Krishna.
He says that, "O courageous warrior, I ask you why you have come here. I come to my hermitage. I accept the reason sincerely in my heart." So, my dear king, whatever is there in your heart, in your mind, without hesitation, please tell me. I try to follow. I try to fulfill without any reservation. Though I know in general why you come, but I still ask why you come to my leaf hut. You will not become successful in quelling the sinful by coming here. So he says that whatever duties you are doing, that is fine. Even if you think some mistake is in that, that is we will I'm sure that you are not doing any mistakes in punishing any sinful people. You are rightly doing whatever is supposed to be done by a king. And if not that the reason you come here, for anything else also, you can tell me. I am ready to follow. I accept the reason in my heart, sincerely or joyfully. Nirvelikena. So please tell me whatever may be the reason. If the reason is like you have been killing so many sinful people, you might be involved in sin and all, you think like that, though it is not at all sin, that is actually bona fide proper. But in any other reason is there also, let me know. I'll keep it in my heart and I'll try to fulfill that. Like that, he is giving surety or ashwasan there. So like that, these are the few words which are spoken by our Kardama unto the king. So in this way, the words spoken by the king are the words spoken by the sage are indicated. And next, the next our king responds in the next chapter. So any questions based on the previous chapter?
No, Prabhuji.
So now in the 12th chapter, 22nd chapter, we'll see that Kardama, the Manu expresses his desire to offer his daughter in marriage. Kardama agrees. The marriage happens, and Swayambhu Manu returns to his capital. And the glories of the Swayambhu Manu's personality, his kingdom, his capital, and his rule, briefly summarized at the end of the chapter. Because Swayambhu Manu is also one of the 12 Mahajanas. Swayambhur Marado Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu. That Manu is Swayambhu Manu. There are 14 Manus in Adaya Brahma. But among the 14 Manus, Swayambhu Manu is special. Special because he is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. And so that's why something about him is mentioned in this chapter. End of this chapter. From text number 29 to 39, about 12 verses talks about the wonderful personality and wonderful rule of Swayambhu Manu. Maitreya Uvacha.
मैत्रेय उवाच
एवम् आविष्कृता शेषगुणा
एवम् आविष्कृता शेषगुणा
sorry actually एवम् आविष्कृता शेष
एवम् आविष्कृता शेष
गुणा कर्मोदयो मुनिम्
गुणकर्मोदया मुनिम्
सौव्रीडा इव तं सम्राट्
सौव्रीडाम् इव तं सम्राट्
उपारतम् उवाचः
उपारतम् उवाचः. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, after describing the greatness of the emperor, manifold qualities and activities, the sage becomes silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, address him as follows. Hare Krishna.
The king, whose unlimited excellent actions and qualities had been described, became embarrassed and then spoke to the silent sage. So king heard his own glories and feeling very much embarrassed, but in any case, he has to respond. So he responded. He spoke to the sage, who became silent, or who was detached from everything. So after saying few words in the glorification of the king, the sage became silent. Then the king responded to the sage. But before that, first, Swayambhu Manu was embarrassed because of hearing his own glories and because of the descriptions of his occupation when he himself was completely dedicated to the Supreme Lord. So Kardama himself was dedicated to Supreme Lord so much, but he is glorifying the king. So king felt he is considering me as a great person, but actually himself is a great person. So himself like that, he was feeling embarrassed. But in any case, he has to respond because he has to reveal his mission for which he has come here. But before telling his mission, his purpose, he also glorifies Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni in specific and Brahmana community in general, the first 7 verses. And then 8th verse onwards, he starts telling about the purpose with which he has come here with his family members. Manuruvacha
Manuruvacha
Brahma Srujaswa Mukato
Brahma Srijata Swamukato
Yasman Atma Paripsaya
Yusman Atma Parispaya
Chendomayastapo Vidya
Chandomaya Stapo Vidya
Yoga Yuktan Alampatan.
Yoga Yuktana Lampatan. Manu replied, to expand himself in the Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you, the Brahmanas, who are full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to sense gratification.
Manu said, desiring to propagate the Vedas, Brahma, the form of the Vedas, created you, the Brahmanas, endowed with austerity, knowledge, and yoga from his face. So then our Swambhu Manu said, my dear sage, you are no less. Lord Brahma himself created you Brahmana communities from his own face. And Brahma is a person made up of Vedas, Vedamaya Purusha. Brahma is a Vedamaya Purusha, and from his mouth he created the Brahmanas to protect the Vedas and to propagate the Vedas, to propagate the teachings of the Vedas. The teachings of the Vedas have three things: austerity, knowledge, and yoga. Fearing the sage would refuse his daughter in marriage, Manu, Swambhu Manu, first explained with reasoning the relationship between the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas in 2.5 verses. First, he is going to glorify the Brahmana community. Lord Brahma created the Brahmanas with a desire to preserve the Vedas, endowed with tapasya, yudhya, and yoga by propagating them. So Lord Brahma, he produced the Vedas and he also produced the Brahmanas so that the Brahmanas can learn, preserve, and propagate the teachings of the Vedas. The essential teachings of the Vedas are three sadhanas: Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So, a thumb line in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, wherever the word, whether it is tapasya or jnana, comes, it is indicates Jnana Yoga. Of course, in some context, jnana means the knowledge in general, but generally it is Jnana Yoga. Tapasya or jnana meant for Jnana Yoga. Yoga or Vairagya meant Ashtanga Yoga. The word yoga or the word Vairagya, they indicate Ashtanga Yoga. And the word Bhakti or Vidya indicates Bhakti. So the essential teachings of Vedas are Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Tapo Vidya Yoga. So like that. So the Brahmanas are meant to teach these three sadhanas to one and all, in addition to Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is the basis for all these three sadhanas. So like that, four sadhanas are there in the Vedas. Though they should be propagated, they should be taught. That is the duty of Brahmanas. They do it. So he is glorifying that, my dear Brahmana, all you Brahmanas are actually produced from Lord Brahma's mouth, and all of you are endowed with the Vedic knowledge, and all of you preserve, protect, follow, and propagate the teachings of the Vedas in the form of Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Like that. Tatranaya srujachasman
त्राणयाश्रितच्चास्मान्
dosahasrat sahasrapat
दोसहस्रात् सहस्रपात्
hrudayam tasya hi brahma
हृदयं तस्य हि ब्रह्मा
kshatram angam prachakshate.
क्षत्रम् अङ्गं प्रचक्षते. Translation: For the protection of the Brahmanas, the 1,000-legged Supreme Being created us, the Kshatriyas, from his 1,000 arms. Hence the Brahmanas are said to be his heart, and the Kshatriyas is his arms.
Yeah. He says that Tat Pranaya Asrujat Asman. In order to protect such kind of Brahmanas who have dedicated their life to propagate the teachings of the Vedas, the same Lord Brahma had created us, the Kshatriyas, from his Do path. Do Sahasrat Sahasrapath. From his hands. So the Kshatriyas from his 1,000 arms for the protection of the Brahmanas. So you Brahmanas are created to propagate Vedas, and we Kshatriyas are created to protect you Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are called the heart, and the Kshatriyas are the arms. Hrudayam tasya hi Brahma Kshatram Angam Prachakshate. So the heart actually the place where mind, intelligence, ahankara, and chetana are situated, and their active their service is to inspire us what to do and how to do. So Brahmanas also supposed to do the same thing. That's why Brahmanas are compared to the heart of the universal form. Kshatriyas are compared to the hands of the universal form. So like that. Why? Who will protect the Brahmanas? Brahmanas are protecting the Vedas, but who will protect them? From his 1,000 arms, the Lord Brahma created the Kshatriyas. Thus they are one with the Lord. So thus Brahmanas and Kshatriyas both of them are one with the Supreme Lord. Then who will protect if the Kshatriyas are protecting the Brahmanas, then who will protect the Kshatriyas? The Brahmanas will do that. The Brahmanas will protect the Kshatriyas by giving them the teachings of the Vedas, by giving them the purpose for which they are supposed to do their duty as a Kshatriya. So each other are helping, are protecting the other community. When so then Brahmanas are called with the called as a heart, Kshatriyas are called as the hands. Why? Here the reason is given. One example is given. When someone comes to attack the heart is seen to be protected by the arms. When somebody is coming and trying to hit on the chest, where the heart is located, our hands immediately block that a person who is attacking and hit him back. The same way, when the arms are attacked, one contracts the body and arms are protected within the heart. When somebody is going to attack the hands, then the heart immediately will say somebody is going to hit your hands, move away your hands and protect your hands. Like that, the heart will say. That means the intelligence and mind inside the heart will tell what to do. Thus, the protector of the heart is the arm, and the protector of the arm is the heart. So both are protecting each other. Same way, the Kshatriyas are protecting Brahmanas, and Brahmanas are protecting Kshatriyas by giving good counsel. Like that. So both are mutually dependent and both are expansion of the Supreme Lord. And don't say that we are only representing Lord's Parana Shakti, but you represent much more important aspect of the Supreme Lord. You represent the head and heart and the Vedas of the Supreme Lord. You have greater responsibility than other Kshatriyas. Like that. Ato hi anyonyam atmanam
Ato hi anyanam atmanam
brahma kshatram cha rakshata
brahma khetram cha raksyata
rakshati sma vyavo deva
raksyati sma vivyo deva
saya sad asadatmaka.
tayat sat asat atmakaha. Translation. That is why the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas protect each other as well as themselves and the Lord himself, who is both the cause and effect and is yet immutable, protects them through each other. Hare Krishna.
Thus the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas protect each other, but the unchanging Supreme Lord, who is the cause and effect, protects them both. So Brahmanas are protecting the Kshatriyas, Kshatriyas are protecting the Brahmanas, but both of them are protected by the Supreme Lord himself, because both of them are serving Lord in that way. The Brahmanas protect the Kshatriyas by the strength of his austerity. The Kshatriyas protect the Brahmana by the strength of his body, physical strength. Actually, however, the Supreme Lord, who is cause and effect, who is without change, protects both. Because ultimately the protection is the responsibility of Supreme Lord, and that responsibility is carried by Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. So because since they are doing Lord's duty, they will be taken care by the Lord. So like that. Then the king further says, तव सन्दर्शनाद् एव
तव सन्दर्शनादेव
छिन्ना मे सर्वसंशयः
छिन्ना मे सर्व संशया
यत् स्वयं भगवान् प्रीत्या
यत् स्वयं भगवान् प्रीत्या
धर्मम् आहारिरक्षिषो
धर्मं हरिरक्षिषो. Now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you. For your lordship has very kindly and clearly explained the duty of a king who desires to protect his subjects.
From meeting you, all my doubts have been destroyed. You have affectionately explained the duties of the Kshatriya. So, my dear sage, you have told about our duties. By understanding what I am doing is proper and it is approved by a personality like you, I am in a safe zone. Something like that. I have come to you, my protector. Just by meeting you, I have been protected. So, like that. And by not only by meeting you, but also you have confirmed that whatever I am doing is proper. So, I am completely in your protection. So, like that, the king expressing his gratitude toward the great sage. Then he further says, Dishtya me Bhagavan Drushto
दिष्ट्या मे भगवान् दृष्टो
Durdarsho Yo Kritatmanam
दुर्दर्शो यो कृतात्मनाम्
Dishtya Padarajas Prishtam
दिष्ट्या पादरजस्पृष्टम्
Here Mataji.
दिष्ट्या पादरजस्पृष्टम् तृष्णा मे भवता शिवम्. Translation: It is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head the blessed dust of your feet. Hare Krishna.
So he says that only it is by my good fortune I am able to see you today. Otherwise, for the Akritatmas, it is very difficult to have darshan of people like you. And more than that, by offering obeisances falling flat on the ground, my head touched the dust in your heart, which was purified by the touch of your lotus feet. So something like that. Then he says, Dishtya tvayanushishtoham
दिष्ट्या त्वयानुशिष्टोऽहम्
कृतश्चानुग्रहो महान्
कृतश्च अनुग्रहो महान्
अपावृतैः कर्णरन्ध्रैर्
अपावृतैः कर्णरन्ध्रैः
जुष्टादिष्टो सतीर्जरा
जुष्टादिष्ट्या शतिगिरा. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. Hare Krishna.
By good fortune you have instructed me and given me great mercy. By good fortune I have heard your pleasant words with open ears. So seeing you itself is very difficult, and then hearing your words is all the more difficult. But somehow or other, by great fortune, I was able to get all these things today. Like that, he is expressing his gratitude to the sage. Having stated all these things, now from text number 8 onwards, he will tell why he has come all the way here with his wife and daughter. So in that way. Able to follow Hare Krishna? Any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sabhavan duhitir sneha
स्वभवान् दुहितर द्वितः स्नेह
परिक्लिष्टात्मनो मम
परिक्लिष्टात्मनो मम
श्रोतुम् अर्हसि दीनस्य
श्रोतुम् अर्हसि दीनस्य
श्रावितं कृपया मुने.
श्रावितं कृपया मुने. Translation: O great sage, graciously be pleased to listen to the prayer of my humble self. My mind is troubled by affection for my daughter. Hare Krishna.
O sage, you, well known as merciful, must mercifully hear a topic from this lowly person, suffering from affection to my daughter. So everything is fine, and by coming to you, and everything has become more auspicious. I have no worries, except one small worry in relation to my affectionate daughter. That is going to tell. By seeing you, all my suffering has been destroyed, but one suffering, hard to remove, remains in my heart. Having been given relief by your mercy, I will remove that suffering also, along with the others which have gone already. Just by having your darshan, all my other sufferings are gone, except one. But now, if you accept it, that will also be removed. You are an ocean of mercy. I have one suffering that does not go away even by the power of discrimination. So you are ocean of mercy so that you can show some mercy upon me. If you show some mercy upon me, that leftover misery also will be taken out from me. So like that will say. Then he will tell, what is that leftover misery? Which Kardama can relieve. Priyavratottana
प्रियव्रतो अनुपादो
Prasevyam duhita mama
सेयं दुहिता मम
anvichati patim yuktam
अन्विचति पतिमिक्तम्
vaya shila gunadibihi.
वयशीला गुणादिभिः. My daughter is the sister of Priyabrata and Uttanapada. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities. Hare Krishna.
The sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapada, who is my daughter, is seeking a husband suitable in age, conduct, and qualities. What is your problem that is still in your heart which you are not able to remove? That is, I have two sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada, and I have one daughter who is their sister. She is looking for a husband who is suitable in age, conduct, and qualities. Unnecessary worries are removed by mentioning that she has two brothers. By mentioning that it is his daughter, he indicates that a Kshatriya's daughter is suitable for the sage. He says that I have a daughter and who also has two brothers. So it is not that I come here for somebody here and there. I come here for my daughter only. And she has two brothers also who are looking after her safety. That is there. At the same time, you may think that okay, you are Brahmana community and I am not Brahmana community. But Shastra says Brahmana can marry Kshatriya girl. And she's a Kshatriya girl. She's actually my daughter. She's not some other unknown girl. She's from Kshatriya clan. So you being a Brahmana can definitely marry her. With that intention, he says that she is my daughter. Then he says, Yada tu bhavata shila. Hare Krishna, someone.
Yada tu bhavataha shila
Kruta rupa vayogunan.
kruta rupo vayo gunan
Ashruno narada esha.
ashunno narada desha
Svai asit krita nischaya.
vaye asit kruta nishchaya. Translation: The moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues. She fixed her mind upon you. Hare Krishna.
When she heard of your age, your qualities, your form, your learning, and your conduct from Narada Muni, she decided on you as a husband. Same thing, just like Mother Rukmini heard about Lord Krishna from Narada Muni. Same way here also. Devahuti heard about Kardama, and since then Devahuti accepted Kardama to be her husband. So she already accepted you as her husband. So I have come here. You are ocean of mercy. You should accept her. If you don't accept her, we will be in great trouble. So in that way, he was telling all this. Tat praticha dvijagresh dvijagre mam
तत्प्रतीक्षा द्विजाग्रेणाम्
श्रद्धयोपाहृतां मया
श्रद्धयोपहृतं मया
सर्वात्मनानुरूपां ते
सर्वात्मानां रूपां ते
गृहमेधिषु कर्मसु.
गृहमेधिषु कर्मसु. Therefore, please accept her, O chief of Brahmanas, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties.
Best of the Brahmanas, therefore accept her, suitable in every way for duties of household life, offered by me with faith. So please accept my daughter in hand. She's actually my own daughter. She has two brothers who are protecting her, and 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 she already heard about you, and she already made up her mind that you should be her husband. You please, therefore, you please accept like that. उद्यतस्य हि कामस्य
उद्यतस्य कामस्य
प्रतिवादो न शश्यते
प्रतिवादो न शस्यते
अपि निर्मुक्तसङ्गस्य
अपि निर्मुक्तसङ्गस्य
कामरक्तस्य किं पुनः.
कामरक्तस्य किं पुनः. To deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasures.
He says that denial of sense objects which come on their own accord is not recommended, even for a person who is detached. Then what to speak of a person with desire for the object? So when somebody is giving charity, even the person is renounced completely, but when charity comes on its own again, one should not say no. Then what about one is actually looking for some charity? If charity comes on its own accord, he should definitely take it. So though you are a great Brahmana sage living in the recluse in the forest and appears to be like renounced, but you have a desire to marry. In the next verse, he will kind of say, how do you know that? For which the king will say, one second, just I have a call to take. You should not say that you cannot accept my daughter because you are detached, ascetic. Sense objects which come of their own accord should not be denied. Knowing your inner desire, I have come here. You should not conceal your desire from me. He identifies Kardama as Kamaraktasya. So this kind of things we can see regularly in Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, many places. Even though when great sage is in tapasya and when Apsara comes and great sage will marry her. Not only that, at other times, not just because of mere attraction, but other way also, even the parents of the girl come and somebody will come and say that I want to marry you. And they cannot say no because something when things are coming on their own accord, they will accept it. That is a rule. Even like Arjuna, when he came from Dwaraka with a dejected condition in the first canto, among the many questions that are asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj, one question is that, is an unworthy woman approached you for marriage, or did you accept an unworthy woman? Something like that. But that means, did you reject when a worthy woman comes to you in seeking marriage, or did you accept an unworthy woman? Something like that question asked. So that means, so when somebody approaches for mercy, for shelter, one should not deny that. That's how the condition is there in the Vedic culture. In that way, then he says, what is the reason why one should not deny that? The reason he says in the next verse. Ya uddatam anadritya
या उद्धतम अनादित
कीनासम abhyachate
कीनाफम अपियाचते
क्षीयते tad yasha spitam
चीयते तत्यफ पीतम
manascha manascha hata.
मानव च अवज्ञातः. One who rejects an offering that come on its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser, thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humiliated by the neglectful behavior of others. Hare Krishna.
One who rejects what comes of its own accord, but begs from a miser, as his glorious fame destroyed. His honor is destroyed, neglected by others. So this verse speaks of the conduct in this world. One who rejects something out of shyness and because of concern for position, and then begs that object, the similar object, from one who will not give it, loses fame. Somebody coming and trying to give you charity, you said no. Later you are in need of that, and you approaches somebody else asking for the same charity. That person says no. Then one is in shame. That is not a good condition for person. Shyness and concern for position are soon destroyed by the strength of the desire. One's honor is also destroyed. So for the first time he said, I am completely touched. Second time himself is asking and he was not respected well properly. Then one loses all respect. So something like that. Therefore, when something is coming on its own accord, you should accept. That will protect your reputation, your honor. Like that, he said. Even the wise man of mature vision should accept those objects not forbidden, which come without asking by good fortune. After surmising that, even having detachment, it will be destroyed by the desire in one's mind. Even though one does not want, but if somebody is offering, take it and don't become attached to it. In due course of time, it will disappear. But one should not deny it. That is the cultural aspect. That's what Swambhu Manu is telling to our Kardama Muni. Because when one is not interested in something, when that comes, one is not disturbed by it. Even though it is there, one remains indifferent to that. So like that. But here, Swambhu Manu knew that he wanted to marry. Kardama wanted to marry. So how did he? So he wanted to marry, and then I am here with my daughter to give you in marriage. And then how did Swambhu Manu knew that Kardama wanted to marry? That he will tell in the next verse. Aye has swashranam vidvan.
aham tvasranam vidwan
विवाहार्थं समुद्यतम्
vivahartham samudyatam
अतस्त्वम् उपकुर्वाणा
atastvam upakurvana
प्रत्तां प्रतिगृहाण मे.
prattam pratigrahana me. Swayambhu Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy.
Yeah. Oh, learned one, I have heard that you are prepared to get married. Being celibate up till now, up till this point, please accept the daughter I offer. He says that. How did you know the desire in my mind? Kardama is asking. The king says, do not ask about knowing. I have even heard this. It is not that I have known about it from somebody third party. I have actually directly heard from someone. I have heard this from the mouth of the Supreme Lord who approached before me. The same Supreme Lord who came to you also came to me and told me that Kardama is a suitable husband for your daughter. That's why I came here. Upakurvana is a person who has been celibate up till this point but can get married. Upakurvana means a student after being born around 7 or 8 years old, Upanayana ceremony is done and then one is sent to Gurukul. And one studies in Gurukul for many years, up till 25, 30, something like that. Once all the education is over, and then one Snatakostava is done, after paying back the Guru Dakshina, one comes home and then gets married. That is called Upakurvana. Upakurvana means the student who has just completed the education, who already paid a Guru Dakshina to the Guru, now he is ready to enter into Gurukul. He is ready to enter into Grihasthashram. That person is called Upakurvana Brahmachari. One follows Brahmacharya all the way up to marriage. That person is called Upakurvana Brahmachari. So you are a Upakurvana Brahmachari. You did not take a decision to remain lifelong celibate like a Naistika Brahmachari. So you have completed your Gurukul education, everything is done. Now you are at your hostel, so it is the right time for you to get married. So please accept the hand of my daughter. So from all aspects, from all angles, what is good, how it is good, why it is beneficial, and Lord himself sanctioned it. Lord himself told me that my daughter is suitable to you, and all these things. So there is no way that Kardama would say no to it. Now Kardama will respond. From 15 to 20, the response of Kardama. Kardama says, yes, I'll marry, but with one condition. You will tell the condition also. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, it is said that the if any sense object comes on, or God, we should accept that. But is it not that if we accept and then we might become to that particular sense object? Initially, we don't have that much of desire to achieve that. But when we get them, there are chances that we can get attached to them.
No, that's what I mentioned. Na? When it comes its own accord, one should not say no. That means somebody is giving in charity, one should not say no to it. First of all, we are not detached. And more than that, we ourselves are looking for sense objects. And then for us to think like this, it is very difficult. We are detached and somebody giving saying no. Maybe externally one may say no, but it should come from the core of the heart. So that is understanding. He says that, Manu says that even it is given, one should accept it. And since one is already detached, even though accepting is also one, there will be no problem to a person. Eventually, in due course of time, it will also disappear. Like that. And then what to speak of
And
a person who is looking for a wife? So we are offering a wife, so we should accept. So in that way, he's telling, he's giving a condition hypothesis. So the even detached person should accept. Then what to speak of a person who want to get married? Then he cannot say no. So like that.
and why it is considered like sinful to deny life if someone is not accepting them?
No. See, when somebody is giving, one should not say no. You take it. Whether you want to use it or not is up to you. If you don't want to use, you give it to somebody else afterwards. So something like that.
Oh,
Hare
okay.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Puji.
Prabhuji, my question is कि if something is coming which is related to some sinful activity, was breaking the four regulatory principles, then it is a totally sinful. So you should outwardly reject it.
No.
You can reject.
See, you remember Bhagavad Gita chapter 17. Whom should be the charity given?
The worthy.
Then all this discussion makes meaningful. First of all, we are worthy. That is a question also we should ask.
Yeah.
So when somebody is giving, are we worthy of handling it? Then better not to take. But for a person like Kardama, for a person of that caliber, when somebody is giving, they should say, take it. By taking it, they're actually doing good to the giver. You're getting?
Yeah.
That person is getting an opportunity to do some charity. So that's how he makes spiritual progress.
But suppose
So,
something which is just degrading our core regulatory principle, so we should outrightly
we
reject. Means this
first
is
of all,
the yeah.
see, for a person like Kardama, even something like that comes also, he can handle it. But for
Yeah,
a person like us, we
it
are
is very
already always anticipating something should come. And then what to speak of somebody is giving? It is a sure shot difficulty. These are all for Datavyam iti yaddanam. So he is worthy to accept charity for that person. In that regard only we are discussing this. It is not for at least not for a person like me. So we should understand like that. I got your question. For us, outrightly, whether Prabhuji is asking or you are asking, at our level, we should outrightly say no. Because we don't have capacity to handle that. Even we also being brahmacharis, many times our congregation devotees give charity. They say that some Lakshmi they give. So this use it for your expenses. Is that actually we should not take. Sometimes we take, but it is very difficult. It is not that. One thing I understood. I may be not thoroughly understood, but little understanding is there. Any article or any object that we take from somebody, from the hand of somebody, that article or that Lakshmi carries the karma of that person also. So when we accept some article, along with that, the karma will also come. We may think that okay, somebody is giving me some gift, so I have taken that gift. We may be in joy mood, but along with that, the gift, the karma of the person also comes. So are we able to tackle that karma of that person? If we have the digestive power, we should accept it. Otherwise, we will be put into a lot of problem afterwards because of that. Recently, the situation is going on. 2 days back, the Brahman initiation ceremony happened in the Chowpatty temple. Immediately, Maharaj fell sick. Even other times also, initiation means a devotee is offering himself to Guru. That is also that giving charity. And here, Guru is taking a charity, and the disciple is offering oneself as charity. That means the disciple is giving himself and as well as his karma to Guru. So Guru should be able to handle that karma, and Guru should be able to handle that charity. Then only Guru remains in a good condition. Otherwise, he has to go through the reactions of the article that is being offered, the person that is being offered. So like that.
Okay, thank you, Guruji.
So that's why it is always said charity should be given to a person who is worthy of receiving charity. Only Brahmana should be given charity because Brahmanas, their life is life of austerity, life of tapasya. So they're anyway leading a life of tapasya and life of vairagya. They are not so much attached to things of this world. Even the things are given to them. That's why I said, na, you take it. If you want, if you require, you can use it. Otherwise, give it to somebody else. So there is no harm in that. At our level, Hare Krishna, we are on the level of what do you call this in English term? So giving and taking, pay and take.
Bargaining type हो जाता है.
Not bargaining. That is
अच्छा,
bargaining means
अच्छा, this
Give and take.
barter system.
barter.
Give and
Barter.
take.
So we currently we are on the level of barter system. So we are giving something and taking something so that karma is gets balanced. So we should be careful.
Okay, Prince.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Quickly.
Prabhuji, you said as if we take something and if we don't want, but we give the things or the Lakshmi or something to others. So does the karma then gets this thing or it gets transferred again? How is that?
You are acting like a postman in between. Postman does not
Yeah.
receive any karma. Others means to that other also should be a worthy person. It is not that other person is going to do sinful activities. Then you are increasing these sinful activities, so you get half karma and the giver also gets half karma. Three people will get karma. So we should also be careful to whom we are giving also. For example, in our case, so we may take some charity and sometimes we may use it for ourselves and many times we give it in the path department. That means to the temple.
Yeah.
So that means the devotee is giving us, but we are giving to the temple. That means the devotee is giving to the temple. It is between him and the temple.
Okay.
I am indifferent in between. Something like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Somebody's hand is raised. Who is that? Okay. Fine. We'll go ahead. Now, how did Kardama responded? What is his condition? Interesting condition. We should learn this condition. At least this kind of condition is very much required in the when I cannot say that is required, that is actually people may use in the negative sense, but in one sense that kind of mentality is required in the modern day context. Padam advodu kamoham Badam udvodu kamoham
Padam uddodu kamoham.
apratta chatavatmaja
Tavam aja.
avayor anuruposau
Avayor anuruposva.
adyo vaivahiko vidhi.
Adyo vaivahiko vidhi. Translation. The great sage replied, "Certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage according to the Vedic system can take place."
Yeah, the Kardama replies, yes, I desire to get married, as you say, and your daughter has not been given to anyone else. This is a suitable marriage for us since there has been no previous marriage. Apratta means not promised to anyone else. Adhyan means not previously married. He says that, yes, my dear king, first of all, you are not promised your daughter in marriage to anybody else. And second, you are not bringing your daughter because she is a widow or her husband given her help and you are looking for someone who can take care of your daughter. Not like that. Your daughter is not has been promised to anybody and not has been married till now. So it is a proper authentic Vedic marriage. I am wholeheartedly accept it. So he is also stating all the conditions. So in what condition marriage should be accepted. Kamaha kamasa bhuyannaradevatesya
कामाः स भूयाति नरदेव तेत्या
पुत्र्या समाम्नाय विदुप्रतिहा
पुत्र्या स्वमान्या विदो प्रतीत कव
का
प्रतीत
एव ते तन्यां का एव ते तनयां नाद्रियेत
क एव ते तनयाम आदृते न आदृते एत
त्वयैव कान्त्या क्षिपतिमिव स्त्रियम्
त्वयैव कान्त्या दीपच्छि इव प्रियतम. Let your daughter's desire for marriage, which is recognized in the Vedic scripture, be fulfilled. Who would not accept her hand? She is so beautiful that by her bodily laughter alone she excels the beauty of her ornaments. Hare Krishna.
O king, let the desire of your daughter, recognized by the scripture, be fulfilled. Who would not respect your daughter whose beauty decries all other beauty? She is stunned. She is situated such that her beauty decries all other beauty. Your daughter is so beautiful. Your daughter is of marriageable age. Who will not say yes to her? Having described her unequaled beauty and good qualities, he then describes her natural power by the ornament of Vyatireka. So, in the previous verse, it is described about her beauty, and the next verse he says that she is not only beautiful, she is also very chaste and powerful. How? Yam harmyaprishte kvanadangri Krishna. Hare Krishna, someone repeat. Yam harmyaprishte kvanadangri
यां हर्मपृष्ठे क्वनाङ्घ्रिशोभाम्
विक्रीडतीं कन्दुकविवलाक्षीम्
विक्रीडटिं कण्डुकविह्वलाक्षिम्
विश्वावसुर्न्यपतस्वाद्विमानान्
विश्वावसुर्ण्यात् पतत्स्वाद्विमानात्
विलोक्य सम्मोहविमूढचेताः
विलोक्य सम्मोहविमूढचेतः. I have heard that Vishwavasu, the great Gandharva, his mind stupefied with infatuation, fell from his airplane after seeing your daughter playing with a ball on the roof of the palace. For she was indeed beautiful with her tinkling ankle bells and her eyes moving to and fro.
Vishwavasu, seeing her with beautiful feet jingling as she played on the roof of the palace, with eyes fixed on a ball, fell from his airplane, because his mind was completely bewildered. She had feet made beautiful by the sound of her bells. Seeing her, Vishwavasu, Gandharva, became bewildered and fell from his airplane to the earth. He became like a corpse on seeing her. Because of his great offense in looking at her with attachment, he received immediate results of that offense by falling. But he simply looked at her. What is the problem in that? The offense is indicated by the word vilokya, Vishesha Rupen Lokete, which can indicate she being seen by him. The understanding is that Vishwavasu Gandharva is traveling in his airplane in the sky, and Devahuti was playing on the rooftop of the king's palace. So while she was playing, her ankle bells produced some hard sound. So Vishwavasu heard that sound and he wanted to look downward. He heard some sound, he thought that there's a beautiful lady. So with a desire to understand who is she looked at her. But he was not able to see her. She was appearing to be like a bright noontime sun. So unable to tolerate that brightness, Vishwavasu fell down from the airplane on the earth. That means he actually did not see her. He heard the sound and he developed a desire to see her and he looked at her. but he only saw some bright light. As a result of that, his eyes gone blind and he fell down onto the earth as if dead. That is the power of Devahuti. That means Devahuti was not even seen by Vishwasu. He wanted to see her, but he could not see. That is the power of this chastity. So that kind of lady who will not marry her, like that Kardama is saying. Tam prartayantim lalana.
Tam prarthanayatim lalanalananam.
आसेविता श्रीचरणैरदृष्टाम्
Asevita Sri Charane Adishtam.
वस्तां मनोरुप वस्तां मनोरुच्चपद स्वसारम्
Vatsa Mano Uchchapada Swasaram.
को नानुमन्येत बुधो वियाताम्
Kona no Manyet Buddha Abhiyatam. What wise man would not welcome her? The very ornament of womanhood, the beloved daughter of Swambhu Manu and sister of Uttanapad. Those who have not worshipped the gracious feet of the goddess of fortune cannot even perceive her. Yet she has come of her own accord to seek my hand.
What wise man would not honor this ornament among women, daughter of Manu and sister of Uttanapada, unseen by those who do not worship Lakshmi, and who has come of her own accord seeking me. One interesting point is also mentioned here. No one would not accept her. She cannot be seen by those who do not worship Mother Lakshmi. Ordinary people, like personality like Vishwasu, cannot see her. Then what to speak of ordinary people can see her? Who cannot see her? Those who are not sufficiently worshipped Lakshmi Devi cannot see your daughter. I have worshipped the feet of Mother Lakshmi, the concept of my deity Lord Narayana, and thus I can see her, but no one else can. Vishwasu moving in the sky saw only the effulgence of her beauty, but not her personality. Just by looking at the effulgence of her beauty, he fell down. He could not see. The excellence of her noble family is described. She is the object of affection of you, my dear Manu, my dear king. She is the sister of Uttanapada. Though Manu told that she is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapada, but here the sage is telling only Uttanapada because Priyavrata is still in the ashram. Both of them went to Gurukul, and Priyavrata wanted to remain in the ashram for lifelong, but Uttanapada alone came home and got married and going to take care of the kingdom. So in that way, Uttanapada only at home and looking after the entire family responsibilities. That's why the says that she is the sister of Uttanapada. Uttanapada is there to take care of her. So in that means she is from a good noble family. She is the daughter of Sambo Manu. She also has a brother to look after her well-being, and then like who will say no to her? And people in general who did not worship Mother Lakshmi can't see her. Then what to speak of marrying her? I can see her and I can marry her because I have sufficiently worshipped Lakshmi Narayana. So like that he says. अतो भजिष्ये समयेन साध्वीम्
भजिष्ये समयेन साध्वीम्
यावत् तेजो बिभ्रूयाद् आत्मनो मे
यावत् तेजो विभ्रयात् आत्मना मे
अतो धर्मां पारमहंस मुख्यान्
अत धर्मान् पारमहंस्य मुख्यान्
शुक्लप्रोक्तान् बहुमन्ये विहिंस्रान्
शुक्लप्रोक्तान् बहुमन्ये अविफ्राम्. Therefore I shall accept this chaste girl as my wife on the condition that after she wear semen from my body, I shall accept the life of devotional service accepted by the most perfect human beings. That process was described by Lord Vishnu. It is free from envy. Hare Krishna.
As a verbal agreement, I will accept this chaste lady until I produce offspring. Then I will consider practicing the path of bhakti, which is greater than renunciation, as explained by the Supreme Lord Himself, and which is endowed with non-violence. He says that I will be a householder until I produce children. Then I will renounce. Or I will accept the girl when the power from my body will become fruitful. I will accept her when there is opportunity after completing my austerities. Atmanaha me teja also refers to Lord Kapila, who is the power of my worshipful Lord. He says that yes, definitely I'll accept your daughter upon one condition. I'll marry her, I'll be with her till the time she will beget some children through me. After children are born, I will renounce and go to forest and I will execute the exclusive bhakti for the Supreme Lord, which was my desire, which was the desire of mine in my core of heart. I will accept the chief dharma of the Paramahamsas, or the path of renounced bhakti, which is superior to that of Paramahamsas, which has been explained directly by Lord Vishnu and is without violence. I will give respect to that as worthy of performing. He says that even though I have performed austerities, I have requested Lord that my father Brahmaji told me to get a wife and suitable wife and beget children. Therefore, I want a suitable wife who will be of same disposition. What kind of disposition? I want to be with my wife as long as the instructions of my father are fulfilled. Afterwards, I want to engage in 24 by 7 full-fledged bhakti. So my wife should be of agreeable to this. That kind of wife I want. So in that way, he performed austerities for 10,000 years. And now he is telling to Swayambhu Manu also, if this condition is acceptable, then I will. So then Swayambhu Manu might ask, hey, what is this? What will happen to my daughter afterwards? After begetting children, you go to forest and what will happen to her? Then Kardama will say, Yato bhavad vishvamidam vichitram
Yato abhavat vishwamidam vichitram
samsasyat samsasyate yatra cha vivastita vivavasishtate
संस्थास्यते यत्र च वावतिष्ठते
प्रजापतीनां पतिरेष मह्यम्
प्रजापतीनां पतिरेष मह्यम्
परं प्रमाणं भगवानन्तः
Param Pramanam Bhagavan Anantaha. Translation: the highest authority for me is the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom this wonderful creation emanates and in whom its sustenance and dissolution rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, the personalities meant to produce living entities in this world. Hare Krishna.
The infinite Lord, the Father of my Father and others, from whom the variegated universe arises, in whom it abides, and within whom it merges a destruction, is my final authority. Swayambhu Manu might say that, no, your father and my father, Lord Brahma, had given us instruction to get married and take care of the children, etc., etc. And you are telling that as soon as children are born, you will go to forest. So you don't want to follow the instruction of your father properly? He says, our father is giving us that instruction because his father has given him that instruction. So I directly follow the supreme instruction of the Supreme Father. So like that is saying. The authority for this is the Lord alone, who arises in the memory of you and me. Or this is the response to the objection. Your father's order was procreation, not renunciation. How can, oh, my dear sage, your father told you to get married and beget children, and you are telling, as soon as the children are born, I will take renunciation. What is this? He says that the father of my father and others is the Supreme Lord. He is the final authority. I will follow his order alone and not my father's order. Because Lord Vishnu also told same thing. As a grasta, you receive guests, give charity and take care of your wife, and afterwards you renounce and show compassion to one and all by teaching bhakti to one and all. Lord himself told him to do it that time. As a result of that, you will see me inside you and you will see me in everything and everything in me. And you will eventually approach my spiritual abode in the spiritual world. Everything has been preordained by the Supreme Lord himself. That's why he says that Lord himself told me to do this. Accept your daughter in marriage and stay with her and take care of her till the time she bears children. Afterwards, engage in exclusive service distributing bhakti to one and all. So this is the condition. And he said this condition has been put forth by the Supreme Lord himself. So as I was mentioning that, so may not be physically, but at least mentally one should have kind of detachment this world. As long as one is supposed to be responsible, one should be responsible. Afterwards, one should be able to dedicate oneself completely in the service of the Supreme Lord, distributing bhakti to one and all, instead of spending one's life only for one's own physical well-being till the end of the last breath. At least after some time, at one point of time, one should be able to give oneself completely to the service of the society. That is what we can see from the personality of Kardama here. Okay, any questions? Hare Krishna. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Saugradhanvan yadeva bhasase.
Sagradhanvani Yadeva Vase.
Asis chatushnim aravindanabham.
Asis Chatusnim Aravindanabham.
Diyopagrahnan sujasmitashobhitena.
Diopagranam Smitasohitena.
Mukena cheto lulubhe devahutya.
Mukhena Cheto Lulube Devahutya. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, O great warrior Vidura, the sage Kardama said this much only and then became silent, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Devahuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage.
So, yes, Maitreya said, O fierce warrior Vidura, having said only that much, Kardama became silent. When he fixed his mind on the Lord with lotus navel, his heart became attracted to the smiling face of Devahuti. O fierce warrior Vidura, just as a warrior like you does not turn from battle, Kardama does not turn from the dharma recommended by the Supreme Lord. The mind of Kardama became attracted by the smiling face of Devahuti. From this, it is understood that Manu and his wife did not feel regret, lamenting that they had given their daughter to a renounced person. So it is not that he is completely renounced and he does not want to take it, but because Shastra says that when gift comes on its own accord, one should accept, not like that. Kardama is interested in marrying Devahuti, but he also has an interest to serve the Lord exclusively. So he want to be in that household order till the time he begets children. Afterwards, he would like to engage in full-fledged bhakti. So Swayambhuva Manu and Shaturpa were happy with this condition. They agreed to it. They said, okay, no problem. accepting that like that, and they are not feeling any sorry that okay, we are offering our daughter by force to a renounced person, because he cannot say no, he is saying yes. And since we ourselves said that please accept my daughter, and now we cannot say no to him, so it is not like a checkmate. On the other hand, they say that okay, no problem, we accept. So even the parents also know the importance of the renunciation, importance of engaging in exclusive bhakti. That's why they said okay. So that's how it is understood. सोऽनुज्ञात्वा विवत्तिष्ठम्
So
Sonu
Anuradhyatva
महिष्यादुहितुस्फुटम्
Mahisha duhitu sputam
तस्मै गुणाध्याय
tasmai guna ganat adhyaya
ददौ तुल्यां प्रहर्षितः.
dadau tulyam praharshitah. After having unmistakably known the decision of the queen as well as that of Devahuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues was equalled by hers.
After that, Manu, clearly understanding the desire of his queen and his daughter, gladly gave to Kardama a reservoir of good qualities, his daughter of equal qualities. Then immediately Kardama was looking at his daughter and his wife, and they also agreed to the condition put by Kardama. So in one sense, all three are agreed, and they are happily going ahead with that marriage. After that, understanding the desires of his daughter Devahuti and the queen, her mother, Manu gave her to Kardama. So the marriage was taking place. So then how the marriage happened and all will be explained in the section 21 to 27. Shatarupa Maharajni
Shatarupa Maharajni
Pare Barahan Mahadanan
Paribarhan Mahadhanan
Dampatyo Paryada Pritya
Dampatyo Paryadat Pritya
Bhusa Vasa Parichadan
Bhusha Vasa Parichadan. Translation.
Pattanduhitaram Samrat
Prattam Duhitaram Samrat
Sadrukshaya Gatavyataha
Sadrukshaya Gatavyatha
Upaguhya cha Bahubhyam
Upaguhya cha Bahubhyam
Outkantyonmattitashaya.
Autkantyo Matita Shayaha. Empress Shatarupa lovingly gave most valuable presents suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles, in dowry to the bride and bridegroom. Thus relieved of his responsibility by handing over his daughter to a suitable man, Swayambhuva Manu, his mind agitated by feelings of separation embraced by his affectionate daughter with both his arms. Hare Krishna.
The queen Shatarupa affectionately gave the couple great wealth and gifts suitable for a wedding, as well as ornaments, clothing, and furniture. The king, relieved of his worries, but whose heart was filled with feelings of separation, embraced with his two arms his daughter, who had been given to a groom of equal qualities. So marriage over. There only in the forest only they got the marriage. It is not that okay, king is is the emperor of the entire world and he brought the sage to village. Not like that. Following the custom of the sage in the ashram only, in a simplistic way, they married and they left their daughter there only and they came back to kingdom. This is how the marriage is to be. Ashakunvam tadviraham. Krishna, someone repeat.
Ashaknum vams tadviraham.
Munchan bashpakalamuhu.
Munchan
Munchan
bashpakalam.
Bhaspakalam
Asinchad ambavasteti.
Ashinchad Ambavatseti
Netrodair duhiturshika.
Netroder Duhitu Shikha. The emperor was
Amantratam. One second. Next, read the two verses also. Amantratam munivaram.
Amantrayatam Munivaram
Anujñata sahanuga.
Anujñata Sahanuga
Prataste ratamaruhya.
Pratasthe Ratham Aruya
Saparya swapuram rupa.
Sabharya Swapuram Nripa
Ubayo rishikulyaya.
Ubayo Rishikulyaya
Saraswatya surodaso.
Saraswatya Surodhaso
Rushinam upasantanam.
Rishinam Upasantanam
Pashyan ashrama sampada.
Pashyan Ashrama Sampada. The emperor was unable to bear the separation of his daughter. Therefore, tears poured from his eyes again and again, drenching his daughter's head as he cried, "My dear mother, my dear daughter." After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seers, beautiful hermitages on both the charming banks of the Saraswati, the river so agreeable to saintly persons.
Yes. Unable to bear separation from his daughter, continuously shedding tears, he moistened the hair of his daughter with his tears. O mother, O daughter, O Amba, O Vasta, he cried. Taking permission from the great sage Kardama, the king, along with his wife Shatarupa, mounted his chariot and arrived at his city along with his routine. He saw the wealth of the hermitages of peaceful sages on the two beautiful banks of the Saraswati river, the river of the sages, Rishikulya. Rishikulya means the river of the sages are beneficial to the groups of sages. Surodasa means on the beautiful banks. Basically, the king who was the emperor of the entire Bhumandala, who had all the opulences at his own disposal. The palace means filled with all the opulences, and a person of that opulent facilities has brought his daughter to the desolate forest in the western part of the land on the bank of Saraswati River, and in a thatched hut, a almost a recluse sage Kardama, and is offering his such daughter who was lavishly born and grown up in a thatched hut stage. So, what kind of facilities they have? They only have natural facilities. A Saraswati River, a small kuti, and basic minimal facilities, nothing else. From the external point of view, no one would say this way, what is this? Is he gone mad or what? Why is he giving his daughter to a poor beggar in the forest who has nothing for his survival? Even he does not have a proper home to live in. And here she was born and brought up in a kingly opulent palace. But the king saw the wealth of hermitages of peaceful sages. What is the wealth of the sages? Their tapasya. They have greater wealth than that of the kingly opulences. The king knew it. That's why he was happily able to leave his daughter in that desolate forest and going back to the kingdom with a happy heart. As he mentioned previously, I only have one misery in my heart. That is my daughter's marriage. Now marriage is over. He's completely happy now. He's going with very, very happy condition. So it is like that. So then, last few verses talks about Swayambhu Manu entering into his own palace and his own city and palace, and about him, some details are mentioned in this particular section. Does anyone have any question till now? Okay. Samayantam abhipretya
Samayantam abhipretya
Brahma vartat prajapatim
Brahma vartat prajapatim
Gita samstuti vaditrai
Gita samsruti badhitrai
pratyudhiyu praharshita
pratyudihu praharsita
barhishmati namapuri
brahmarshati nama puri
barhishmati namapuri
barhismati nama puri
sarva sampad samanvita
sarva sampat samanvita
nyapatan yatra romani
nyapatan yatra romani
yajnasyangam vidunvataha
yagya sangam vidhunvata
कुशाकाशस्ते एवासन्
pusakasate evasan
शश्वद्धरितवर्चसा
taswadharitavarchasa
ऋषयो यै पराभाव्या
रसयो यहि पराभाव्यो भव्यो
यज्- यज्ञज्ञान् यज्ञमीजुरे
यज्ञान यज्ञनिजरे. Translation. Overjoyed to know of his arrival, his subjects came forth from Brahmavarta to greet their returning lord with song, prayers, and musical instruments. The city of Parismriti, rich in all kinds of wealth, was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Boar. As he shook his body, this very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusagrasa and kasa, another kind of grass used for mats, by means of which the sages worshipped Lord Vishnu after defeating the demons who had interfered with the performance of their sacrifices. Correct.
Knowing of his arrival, the joyful citizens came from Brahmavarta to meet him with music, praise, and song. As soon as the king is about to reach the city, the citizens of the entire kingdom known as Brahmavarta, they came to the outskirts of the city to welcome the king. So then he entered after receiving their welcome, then the king entered the capital city. The city of Barishmati, filled with all wealth, was where the hairs of Lord Varaha Avatara fell when he shook his wet body. The hairs which fell became Kusha and Kasha grass, which are always green. With that grass, the sages worship the Lord after defeating the demons who oppose sacrifice. So there, the speciality of Varishmati. What was Brahmavarta like? In that place, there was the city known as Barishmati, the modern day Bittur, where the hairs of Lord Varaha fell. This verse explains the meaning of the city Barishmati, filled with kusha grass. The hairs remained as kasha and kusha grass. So basically, if you remember, 13th chapter, we saw that when Lord Varaha, by the request of Lord Brahma, appeared to lift the Bhumandala, after lifting the Bhumandala, and when the sages are offering a wonderful prayers, the sages from Harloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, after accepting all the prayers, as a sign to indicate that I have accepted our prayers, Lord Varaha shook his body. Since Lord Varaha jumped into Garbhodaka ocean, his whole body was wet with water. After keeping the Bhumandala at its own place, when he shook his body, the water from his wet body fell all over. And also along with the water, some hairs also fell in this particular place. And the hair of Lord Varaha eventually transformed into Kusha and Kasha grass. Since this entire area is filled with Kusha and Kasha grass, this place is known as Kushavarta or Brahmavarta. It is also called as Kushavarta. Kushavarta means it is filled with Kusha grass. So, and then Barishmati. Barishmati or Brahmavarta also means this place is filled with the hair of Lord Varaha, who is Yajna Purusha. And since this place is specially blessed by Lord Varaha himself, it is very opulent and very religious place. And today that place is situated at a town known as Bittur on the bank of Ganga river, about 23 kilometers away from Kanpur. From Kanpur, if you go towards western side, I suppose, at the distance of 23 kilometers, you can come to the city. It is on the bank of Ganga itself. It is known as Bittur today. Even today also we can see a temple, a palace of remnants of Dhruva Maharaj. It is called Dhruvatila. And there is a temple on the bank of Ganga river. It is known as Brahmatirtha. The Ganga river, that ghat is known as Brahmatirtha. And the temple is known as Brahmavarta. Lord Brahma's lotus feet are being worshipped there in that place. So this is a special place.
Prabhuji, even now there is plenty of Kusha and Kasha grass is there.
Yeah, maybe it can be there. I don't remember all those things, but it can be there. Why not?
Okay.
Kushakaşamayam barher.
Kushakashamayam barhi.
Astirya Bhagavan Manu.
Astirya Bhagavan Manu.
Ayajad Yajna Purusham.
Ayajadya Purusham.
Labdha Sthanam Yato Bhuvam.
Labdha Sthanam Yato Bhuvam.
Barhishmatim Nama Vidu.
Barhishmatim Nama Vibhur.
Yam Nirvishya Samavasat.
Yam Nirvishya Samavasat.
Tasyam Pravishto Bhavanam.
Tasyam Pravishto Bhavanam.
Tapatraya Vinashanam.
Tapatraya Vinashanam. Translation: Manu spread a seat of Kushas and Kashas and worshipped the Lord, the personality of Godhead, by whose grace he had obtained the rule of terrestrial globe. Having entered the city of Barhishmati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, which was filled with an atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence. Hare Krishna.
So this Barishmati, being spread with Kusha and Kasa grass, is always used for the worship of Supreme Lord. Because Manu also knows this place is the specially empowered by Lord Varaha, and Manu himself is a great devotee. How can he not worship the Supreme Lord? So he was continuously worshipping the Lord. Even that was the instruction of Brahmaji. Brahmaji gave 2-3 instructions. Become the king of the human beings, beget children who are like you, and worship the Lord by the performance of yajna. They would regularly perform yajna after yajna for the for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. That was his main activity. And hence this place remained a prosperous place. That is about the kingdom. Then the king entered into the palace. Entering the city of Barishmati in which he had previously lived, Manu then entered his palace, which destroys the three miseries. His palace is such a special palace, one does not experience tapatraya, adi bhautika, adhyatmika, adi daivika kleshas. Nothing will be experienced by any person who is residing in this palace. Of course, in one sense, the entire city is like that. Barishmati and Brahmavarta, the entire country is like that. Everywhere there is prosperity, everyone is very happy condition. And more than that, we have seen that this entire pastime is happening in Satyayuga. So all of you can imagine what kind of conditions could have been there during Satyayuga. So obviously, it was very sattvic and very wonderful, very dharmic situation. Why would anyone expect any tapatrayas? So he entered along with his wife into the palace. Sabharya sa praja kaman.
Sabharyam sa praja kamam.
Bubuje na virodata.
Bubuje anya virodata.
Sangiyamana satkirti.
Sangiyamana satkirti.
Shastribhi suragayakai.
Sastribhi suragaike.
Prati usheshu anubadhena.
Pati Ushveshanubhaddena
Hruda shranvan hare kata.
Hridha Shrinvan Hare Kata
Nishnatam yogamayasu.
Nishnatam Yoga Mayasu
Munim swayambhuvam manum.
Munim Sambhuvam Manum
Yed yed abramastitum boga.
Yad Abramam Sayitum Bhoga
Nashekur bhagavat param.
Nasheku Bhagavat Param
Swayambhuva Manu enjoyed with his wife and citizens without contradicting the dharma of others. While his glories were sung by the Gandharvas with their wives starting in the morning, he would listen with attention to stories of the Lord. So he was able to rule and take care of the people very nicely without causing trouble to anybody else. And every day morning he would get up listening to Harikatha. That's how his day began. He did not contradict others' duties. Starting every dawn, he listened with heart controlled by the sweetness of the stories of the Supreme Lord. His day would begin with Harikatha. Material enjoyment could not in saintly Swayambhu Manu, who was surrendered to the Lord because he was experienced in all types of material enjoyment by yoga practice. He himself is a great yogi and he had a lot of opulences, but he was not attached to opulence. He was simply interested in hearing about Lord Hari and worshipping Lord Hari through yajna, etc. By the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, this is Satya Yuga. Again, you remember. In Satya Yuga, the process of practicing bhakti is Dhyayato Krutaya Dhyayato Vishnu. In Krita Yuga, the worship of Lord Vishnu is Dhyana. So by the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, he was master of all types of knowledge of Maya, Yoga Maya, so Nishnatav. Since he had experience of enjoying material objects, even the enjoyment of those objects could not produce attachment for them in him. Basically, since he is a king, he had a lot of opulences around him. Though he was utilizing all the opulences, but he was not attached to all the opulences. He was simply living in the midst of all of them. But his main activity in the day is worshipping the Lord through yajna and dhyana, and then taking care of the citizens by protecting dharma, like that. Last few verses, we'll just cover next 4 verses with that chapter will be over. Ayatayamastasyasan Ayatayamastasyasan
Ayatayamas Satyamsan
Yama Swatantrayapana
यामा स्वतन्त्रयापना
शृण्वतो ध्यायतो विष्णु
शृण्वतो दायतो विष्णु
कुर्वतो ब्रुवता कथा
कुर्वतो ब्रुवतो कथा
स एवं
स
स्वान्तरं निन्ये
एवं स्वान्तरं निन्ये
युगानाम् एकसप्ततिम्
युगानाम् एकसप्ततिम्
वासुदेवा प्रसङ्गेन
वासुदेव प्रसङ्गेन
परिभूता गतित्रया
परिभूतो गतित्रया.
since he heard about the Lord, meditated on him, spoke about him, and made compositions with his words about him, his passing of time extending for a Manvantara was not in vain. The whole life of one Manvantara, Swayambhu Manu spent in hearing about the Lord, meditating upon the Lord, Shrunvato Dayato Vishnu, Kurvato Bruvato Kata, spoke about him and made compositions about the Supreme Lord. Kurvato Bruvata Kata. Bruvata means speak. Kurvato means write. So Swayambhu Manu also spoke about the Lord, how to come close to the Lord, how to worship the Lord. And that book is known as Manusmriti. How, while living in this world, how to follow Varnashana Dharma, and by following that Varnashana Dharma, how to worship Lord Vishnu and how come close to Lord Vishnu is called Manusmriti. That was written by Swayambhu Manu, the first Manu. And thus he spent one a lifespan of 71 Chaturyugas. That is not in vain. Yatayamam means worn out or decayed. Kurvata means he made compositions in his own words about what he had seen, heard, and spoken. So Swayambhu Manu put everything, whatever he heard, seen, and understood in his books. That book is known as Manusmriti. Manusmriti, whatever Manu heard, remembered, and understood, that is Manusmriti. Having conquered the three miseries, he spent the Manvantara of 71 Yuga cycles in hearing topics related to Supreme Lord. Gatitrayam can refer to the states of waking, sleeping, and dreaming. Even while sleeping, while dreaming, while waking, he would continuously do this only. Shunvato, Dhyayato, Vishnu, Kurvato, Bruvato, Katayam, Hari. This is his major activity for the entire life. And such a person, how will he experience any miseries in this material world? Definitely he will not. That was the glorious position of Swayambhuva Manu. Like that. Sharira Manasa Divya
शारीरा मनसा दिव्या
Vaiyase Echa Manusha
वयासे च मानुष
Bhautikascha Katam Klesha
भौतिकश्च कथं क्लेशा
Bhadante Hari Samshrayan
बाधन्ते हरिसंश्रयम्
Yaprushto Munabhipraha
यपृष्ठमुनिभिः
Dharma Nana Vidanchuban
धर्मान्नानाविधांशुवान्
Shrunam Varnashramanam Cha
वर्णाश्रमान् नाम च
सर्वभूतायिता सदा
सर्वभूतहितः सदा
एतत्ता आदिराजस्य
एतत् आदिराजस्य
मनोश्चरितमद्भुतम्
मनश्चरितम् अद्भुतम्
वर्णितं वर्णनीयस्य
वर्णितं वर्णानि यस्य
तद् अपत्योदयं शृणु.
तत् आपत्योदयं शृणु.
O Vidura, how can miseries arising from the body, mind, ghosts, other humans, or natural conditions bind up a person who has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord? Bhakti, the cause of overcoming all types of miseries. Divya here means coming from the intermediate sky, the place of ghosts. Manusha means those who take the role of enemies. Bhautika means influence of cold, heat, etc. Vayase means Sovida. So basically saying that when a person continuously engaged in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam and writing of the Supreme Lord, will he experience the difficulties from threefold miseries, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adi Atmika Kleshas? Not possible. Like that he is telling. Asked by the sages, he, thinking of the welfare of all beings, spoke on various types of auspicious dharma for human and varnashramas. This is basically being requested by the great sages. He compiled Manusmriti to give a proper direction for the people in future, how to follow the varnashrama duties for the service of the Supreme Lord. So he made a composition known as Manusmriti, being requested by the great sages. Thus, I have described to you the amazing character of Swayambhu Manu, the first among the kings, who is worthy of describing. Now hear about the power of his daughter Devahuti. So till now he has spoken about Swayambhu Manu, and now you hear about the power of his daughter. Already one kind of power of Devahuti was seen, so explained that Vishwasu Gandharva, from the top when he wanted to see her, he could not see her, but he only saw the effulgence of her. As a result of that, he fell down from the top. He was so chaste, and her chastity and other future further activities after marriage will be described in the next chapter. So like that. So this is how in the 22nd chapter the marriage between Kardama and Devahuti is explained, and the glories of Swayambhu Manu, who is one of the 12 Mahajanas, is also explained. So I'm sorry for late. I hope there are no questions. Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
No question, Prabhu.
No questions. So thank you. So we are done for today. So before closing, I have one small message to all of you to say that